The Native Americans called this incredible landscape the place of Yellowstones. In 1872, when Americans made Yellowstone the first national park, they saw it as a great treasure house to preserve. To the ordinary person, it appears to be a balanced ecosystem of pristine perfection. But for the past 60 years, Yellowstone has been knocked off balance. Something important has been missing. The wolf. And now, over half a century later, they're back. Incredibly enough, by the late 1930s, the American people had wiped out the wolves. Most of the thousands of visitors to this glorious place know nothing about the long-ago decimation of the wolf. But I remember vaguely hearing about it as a child. I was raised out here, and now I'm back, driving beneath the famous landmark, the entrance to the park.
Hi, welcome to Yellowstone. Okay, have a good day.
All right. Hi, I'm Matthew Fox. And I've come to Yellowstone to discover how bringing the wolves back to this amazing place is changing the face of the West. I grew up here in Wyoming, and I've learned firsthand how the return of the wolf is forcing people to choose sides in a struggle about values and what's really important to a person's quality of life. Join us on this incredible journey as we follow the lives of a new generation of wolves and get to know one of the first wolf families to return to Yellowstone. The plan was simple. Carrying it out was not. Packs of wolves would be captured up in Canada and transplanted to the similar landscape of Yellowstone.
About a 60-pounder, probably.
Among them was a wolf that we came to know very well, and it is her story that shows the trials of their new life. In Operation Wolfstock, they left quietly, flew south, arriving at the Bozeman, Montana airport in the middle of the night and landing in a storm of controversy. Instead of being welcomed into the park, the wolves were stopped in their tracks by a temporary injunction from the U.S. Farm Bureau. People from the Park Service and U.S. Fish and Wildlife were concerned that these cages would soon become coffins.
We can maintain them in there for several days, but it's very possible that's very difficult on them. It's not good for the animal.
The wolves are a sack of monkey. Why should we give a about them?
They're threatening our heritage. We don't want them here.
No wolves! No wolves!
Renee Askins, wolf biologist, Westerner, and activist. She was one of those who helped create the Wolf Fund.
Easy does it. The real work of wolf recovery took place in the Grange halls and the back kitchens and the late-night bars and the conversations, and it was slowly the conversation of a culture changing, and the conversations a culture has with itself. It's really difficult because when there's a certain way of doing things and someone asks that that be changed, there's oftentimes a lot of pain with that. It's not wolves or ranchers. It's not environmentalists or hunting. It's about making room.
Finally, after 36 hours, the injunction was lifted, but the threats persisted and security had to be tight. Though 2 horse trailers were brought in, only one was used to transfer the wolves to their destination. The other one was a decoy to assure a safe release.
There was a tremendous euphoria of kind of disbelief among those who had supported and worked towards wolf recovery for 20 years. They couldn't believe it was happening, so they were just ecstatic. I think on the other side was just the disbelief of like, my God, we've stalled this thing off for 30 years, and now this is actually going to happen. There's going to be wild wolves running around.
A last leg of a long and difficult journey. They were carried to pens over an acre in size where they would have about 10 weeks to adjust to their new surroundings. Their future was uncertain. This had never been done before. Organizations like the National Wildlife Federation have invested over 20 years in trying to bring the wolves back safely. One of their scientists, Steve Torbett, understands how complicated this is.
We knew we could not bring any endangered species back, especially not wolves, into this ecosystem in a vacuum, that we had to weave that reintroduction into the existing social fabric.
The moment of truth had arrived. Secretary of Interior Bruce Babbitt and other dignitaries offered their support. Now the wolves would have their first chance to run on this new land. Wow.
The incredible thing here is that with Return of the Wolf, we will in fact have a complete vignette of this incredible area as it was 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years ago. 70% of the American people want them here because they understand what a vignette of primitive America is. They know it's important for our spiritual health, for ecological health, for our children's sake.
Down through history, the wolf has inevitably been surrounded with an aura of panic. We scared ourselves and our kids for centuries with evil images of the wolf, but now all of a sudden they're cool. Movies are inspired by them, sports teams are named after them. They're a great marketing tool. Can you find 9 wolves? I think that should be 9 wolves, but I'm not sure about that. I guess we all grew up with the myth. But what about the truth? Is he really the big bad wolf poised to blow our house down? To terrorize the neighborhood to make sure our children never sleep soundly again? Or is he a symbol of strength and power? We did believe it, these evils, you know. More recently, there's been a shift in ideology. Is it courting the devil? Or a symbol of grace and beauty? It's a long way from Little Red Riding Hood to women running with wolves. The wolf no longer terrorizes women, he can even inspire them. And today, the big bad wolf is a reality only to those who believe they have something real to lose.
The wolf is a killer.
If we have wolves in one corner of the state, we'll have them all over the state.
We just don't want them here.
I, for one, want to see it stop.
There's also a safe place to vent your feelings and to listen.
You're listening to AM 1450 KMMS Bozeman.
It's 10 minutes after 9 in the Gallatin Valley. This is Talk of the Town for Monday. I've got Matthew Fox, who is better known as Charlie on the Fox Network Party of 5.
You're going to see those wolves shot at the very least. Some of them are going to get killed that aren't going to be accounted for.
You're on the air.
Domestic cattle, sheep, etc., have been killed. And that wasn't supposed to happen, and that's only with 3 packs.
The livestock owners and operators have every right to have concerns, and the truth of the matter is that there will be livestock lost and there will be wolves lost.
There was care in the selection of the packs that came down from Canada. In fact, 2 packs were complete, their wolf families intact. But one beautiful female wolf came without a mate. In some odd way, this new female wolf reminded Renee of a pup she had cared for years ago when she was studying in Canada. The scientists called this new Yellowstone wolf Number 9, but Renee named her Natasha after the pup.
She was taken away from the pack at a day old for some medical reasons and given to me to nurture until we could integrate her back into the pack. They brought her in from the helicopter, and I had this immediate sense of recognition and familiarity. And I sat with her, which I hadn't done with any of the other wolves, and just stroked her and told her stories about Yellowstone.
The strongest and most magnificent wolf brought down from Canada was Number 10. His silver sheen and piercing eyes gave him the reputation of hunk among male wolves. He had a swagger and an attitude. He was a star, and they called him Arnold. Introducing him into the pen with Natasha created a bit of a cliffhanger. They had no idea whether these two wolves would get along, or possibly even attack each other. But not only was there no conflict, they actually seemed to hit it off. This pairing of Natasha and Arnold was the first real success of the wolf recovery program. As we say in Hollywood, this was the beginning of a beautiful relationship. It's always a great feeling returning to Yellowstone. And here I am again, ready to continue my adventure. And now that summer is here, I have a chance to trek out in the wild with my dad, Fran Fox, a Wyoming outfitter, and wolf biologist Mike Phillips. Hey.
Good to see you, kiddo. Oh, that was a trip.
Hey, man. That's right. How you doing, Mike?
See you, guys.
Mike is best known for returning the red wolf to the east and is now a pioneer in bringing the gray wolf back to the west.
Good. And the Leopold pack has been spending a lot of time right here, so we may see them as well.
Good deal.
A good day.
We're heading out to search for the wolves. Maybe we'll even see Natasha.
You fellas ready? I'm ready.
Natasha and Arnold were the leaders of the Rose Creek pack, named for the Yellowstone area Rose Creek. Each pack is named for the site of its first home in Yellowstone. When we come back, you'll see what happened last winter when I came face to face with a wolf pack. My first trip to Yellowstone on this project gave me a new perspective on wolf recovery, and it was Mike Phillips who added to that with his insight into wolf behavior. How often do you feed the wolves?
Twice a week. You know, we don't want to go up there any more than necessary, and we can put enough food in those pens twice a week to keep them well fed.
All right, where do you get all the carcasses?
The food that we give the wolves, mostly elk and bison, and some mule deer, or roadkills mostly.
If there was ever such a thing as a wolf guru, it would be Mike. He seems to have a good feel for what wolves do. He's got their number. I wondered whether the wolves would eat when fed by humans. Too much contact with people was bad news for them. My dad and I had the honor of dragging the carcasses to the pen. It may look a little gory, but from the wolf standpoint, this is just another lunch.
There's a fundamental fear in a lot of people that wolves are going to actually threaten, hurt, and kill people.
We have this image that wolves are these big, bad beasts that can do whatever they want whenever. And honestly, they're scared to death of people. They're far more frightened of us than we are of them. And given that they have nowhere to go, all they can do is run about, round and round and round that pen.
They fight the pen for a couple of weeks when they first get here, and then they accept the fact they can't get out, and they don't try to get out. They get real agitated, as you can see, when we're here. It's burned into a wolf psyche that people are bad.
I can't believe I'm standing in this pen right now. In my mind, I kind of just skipped over the whole really thinking about what I was doing.